Welcome back, hockey fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils. And tonight was a big night for the NHL and its fans. My God. Edmonton Oilers heading back home after a miraculous win in Game 5, pushing the Stanley Cup Finals to Game 6 in front of their frenzy home crowd, looking to force a Game 7. The atmosphere outside the arena pregame bananas. The atmosphere inside the arena completely bananas. Kate, the Oilers' good luck charm, the fan who went viral for flashing her breastises during the playoffs in the building, the good luck charm in the building, Kate the Flasher. And the Oilers do the unthinkable and win Game 6, forcing a Game 7 in Florida Monday night. Winner take all, winner skates the cup, loser goes home, and this is absolutely bananas, folks. I personally, as you know, if you've been following me, in my playoff bracket, I had the Edmonton Oilers winning the Stanley Cup over the Florida Panthers in the final. After the first 3 games, I thought the Oilers were getting swept. I mean, they just looked absolutely abysmal. There was no reason to believe it was going to be anything other than a complete sweep. After the first 3 games, I'm like, they're done. They're completely done. It's going to be a sweep. And then Game 4, they win. And then Game 5, they win. And now leading up to tonight, I didn't think there was any way they were going to lose this game, to be honest. I mean, I really did think the Oilers were I thought the atmosphere was just going to be so crazy that they would find a way to do it, and they did. And now we have a Game 7, and the Oilers looking to make history with an epic comeback and win in the final after being down 3-0. I mean, I can't imagine how it feels to be a fan of either one of these teams at this point. I mean, this has been, when it all shakes out, so maybe some of the games weren't great, but all in all, I'm going to say as a fan of hockey and not one of these two teams, I'm going to say this is a great final one. It looked like it was going to be a sweep, and then we got drama out of nowhere, and it kept on building. I mean, my God, it's completely insane, and I can't imagine what's going through the minds of the Panthers players as well as their fans, and likewise for the Oilers. I mean, the Oilers now, how can you lose? I understand they have to go to Florida and do it, but all the pressure in the world is on the Panthers now going back in front of their home crowd after losing 3 in a row, and this is now going to be the second game that they could potentially skate the cup on their home ice. They didn't do it the last time they had the chance in Game 5, and Edmonton has clawed their way to a tie at 3 apiece, and we're going to see who wins the cup. I mean, this is great for the sport of hockey. Game 7s in hockey are phenomenal, and when it's a Stanley Cup final, it's even better. It's even better. We get to the game real quick. At 7:27, Fogle for the Oilers gets on the board. Beautiful pass from Draisaitl. Gives them the 1-0 lead. And that's how the first period ends. I thought Edmonton came out strong. Looked like they were definitely outplaying them. They were pushing the pace. I think the Panthers were just kind of reacting and trying not to get shelled. And Oilers end the first period with a 1-0 lead. We go to the second, and at 46 seconds in, former New Jersey Devil, and the man I want to see win the cup more than anything because he's so beloved to most Devils fans, Adam Henrique, his 4th of the playoffs at 46 seconds, giving the Oilers the 2-0 lead. And almost immediately after that, the Panthers, Barkov, scores a goal, and the building kind of loses. It gets, a little bit deflated. Barkov scores a goal, but wait a minute. Was this onside? We see another offsides challenge, this time on the grandest of stages in the Stanley Cup Final and in a very big moment. Very big moment. The Oilers decide to indeed challenge the call. They show a bunch of angles on TV. It's super close. I can't definitively say one way or the other whether I thought it was, it was just so close. And the calls have been so inconsistent. Penalties and these offsides, things alike. Like, you never know. To me, it's a coin flip quite often. But I think the stat was 85% of the offsides calls are indeed offsides. And that's a function of the team has video coordinators and people in the boxes watching the replays right away, and then they radio down in the headset to the bench and say, challenge that or not, or they might say it's good, don't waste the challenge, and they challenge it, and after a review, it gets wiped off the board. Edmonton goes crazy, has to be a complete gut punch to the Panthers at that point because they had just given up a 2-0 lead, and then Barkov immediately responds. It was maybe 15, 20 seconds later. and cut the lead, and the crowd got real silent. And then after the review, it gets wiped off the board. Got to be completely deflating. And then late in the period at 18-20, Hyman on a beautiful moves to finish there gives them the 3-0 lead after 2, and the party is underway in Edmonton. I mean, if you're up 3-0 after 2 in a game with these kind of stakes, I just couldn't see it. I was like, the Panthers are dejected. I think they're toast. And Oilers up 3-0 after 2. We go to the third. Barkov gets one that counts. At 1:28, they're not taking this one back. Barkov has been a beast this playoff. The lead is cut to 3-1, and that's where it stayed till late at 16:45 with Bobrovsky on the bench. Ryan McLeod, brother of former New Jersey Devil Mike McLeod, gets one on the empty net, giving Edmonton the 4-1 lead. And then they pulled Bob again, and then like 12 seconds later at 16:57, Nurse gets one on the empty net. Once they were down 4-1, I don't know. For me, if I'm the Panthers, I just leave Bobrovsky and I don't pull him again. Down 4-1 with 3 minutes left, like you're done. You're done. I don't want to just keep letting them put salt in the wound and just keep putting them in the empty net. I mean, I don't know. I guess there's different schools of thought there, but after the McLeod one, I would have just put Bobrovsky in and left him, but that's here nor there. They lost the game. Final score 5-1, and I imagine the parties in Edmonton are going to be fire tonight. I can't imagine how jacked up the Oilers fans are to come back. You're basically on life support, down 3-0, and then now to win 3 games in a row to force a Game 7. I honestly just don't see how the Panthers, win this Game 7. I really can't. I mean, the record for home teams in Game 7s in most sports, I believe, are pretty overwhelming, and hockey as well. But, after being up 3-0, and these guys are probably envisioning skating the cup and what they're going to do with it. And not to say that, they got ahead of themselves or anything like that, because obviously everyone's saying the right things to the media and all that after you take a 3-0 lead. But you can't, people are humans. You can't help but to maybe wander mentally sometimes. And Edmonton has just found their game, and they're just executing. They're lethal when they're on, and they've been on for the last 3 games, and now they're looking to finish the job in the miraculous comeback movie script type shit in Game 7 Monday night in Florida, and that is going to be a bonkers game. I am stoked for that one. Connor McDavid on the biggest stage in the Cup Finals, a Game 7 forced after being down 3-0. The storylines are it's just a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful thing to see. And now to kind of circle back on my boy Adam Henrique. He is the guy I was rooting for. Going into the playoffs, I said, when I usually look to see if there's a former Devil or something to kind of give me a rooting interest, to kind of pick the team that I'll be rooting for if the Devils aren't in it. And right away, Henrique was the guy that jumped out to me. He's been in the league for a while. Franchise legend, will always have a place in my heart. That goal against the Rangers to knock them out of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2012, that whole group, went on that cup run, and they couldn't finish it against the Kings, but what a group. And I always liked Henrique. And so that's why I was kind of rocking with the Oilers. And I also thought they had a very good chance of winning, which is why I picked them in my bracket. And I was rooting for them. And he's now 1 win away from hoisting a cup. His rookie year was that 2011-12 with the New Jersey Devils. A young, baby-faced Adam Henrique coming into a lineup with some veterans like Zach Parise and Ilya Kovalchuk. I mean, that team was fun. Devils fans, for my Devils crowd watching me, that was a fun team. But Adam Henrique gets the game-winning goal tonight, which is his second of the finals. He also had the game-winning goal in Game 4 when his team was down 3-0. And now, after tonight with another game-winning goal, so he has 2 game-winning goals in this Stanley Cup final alone. And his first Stanley Cup final game-winning goal was actually Game 4 of the 2012 series when the Devils were down 3-0. Devils down 3-0 in LA on the road. Adam Henrique gets the game-winning goal for the Devils there. So he now has 3 Stanley Cup final game-winning goals on his resume in only 12 games played. This has been his 12th finals game, and he has 3 game-winning goals. Pretty damn good, I would say. Smells pretty clutch. Smells pretty clutch, and he was a guy, I've always liked him, and I honestly think we should be looking at bringing him back at the right price. I really do. I've kind of toyed with the idea back and forth throughout the season. I thought there was maybe a chance for a reunion this season. I was hoping the Devils are going to get him kind of for the push to make the playoffs, but he ends up going to Edmonton, a great destination for him, obviously, with a great chance to win the Cup. And here we are, one game away from him potentially winning a Cup with that Oilers group. But I think big-time players come up big when it matters most. And Stanley Cup Finals, in a game like tonight, when your team was down 3-0, you won the next two, and now you're in Game 6 looking to drag it to a 7. Game-winning goal, Adam Henrique, his third of his career. And, he's on my list. He's on my list. We obviously need a depth center. Mikey McLeod was a massive loss. I loved Mikey McLeod. He was having a breakout season. He was setting himself up for a really nice payday. I thought he was going to get a really nice contract, if he kept playing the way he was. He was doing a little bit of everything. He was hitting guys. He was scoring. He was bringing that energy. Loved Mikey McLeod. He was a devastating loss. And I think Adam Henrique could potentially be a good depth center for the New Jersey Devils. And I think he's a guy that gives you some flexibility because on any given night, I think he could be slotted up and down the lineup and play in many different situations. I think a guy like that is super valuable to have. Veteran. He's been through the wars. He's been in the league a while. And he's on another run with the Oilers right now. I would love to bring him back. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Adam Henrique. I know a few of you, I think, have mentioned his name in the past few weeks. Some of you said you would pass. But I think he could be a good fit. And I think at the right number, it makes sense. I don't know what Adam is thinking. I could see him maybe falling in love with Edmonton, win or lose the next game, and might want to stay there. I mean, I think Edmonton is definitely going to be in a position to be competing for kind of a while. I mean, as long as you have Draisaitl and McDavid, I think you're always going to be in the race. That obviously didn't work out earlier in their careers, but, with a couple tweaks as time goes on, I think Edmonton kind of could be a team that could make these type of runs. If you get hot at the right time, anything's possible. And when you have guys like that in your lineup, so I could see that being a desirable destination for Henrique to potentially stay. And he is a Canadian guy, so who knows? Who really knows? And I'm curious to see what other teams might be in the market for his services when free agency opens. But I'm hoping Fitzgerald is. I mean, there's a lot of other guys I like as well, but, not just from a emotional fan reunion request here. I think he really does bring an element that we will be missing. And so it's not just to be sappy and be like, oh, bring back Adam. He was a great guy. I think he really fits the mold of what we were looking for to potentially replace McLeod. I mean, because we never did. And it's going to have to be done. So Adam Henrique is definitely a guy on my list. Let me know what you guys think about him. Obviously, let me know what you thought about this game. I know there's a couple Florida Panthers fans in the comments over the past week or so, and my heart goes out to you guys. I mean, wow, to blow a 3-0 lead, it's painful. It's really painful, and I'm curious to know, what changes may or may not be made for Game 7. Maybe the coaches, or at least on the Panther side, look to take someone out and put someone in to kind of spark something. They took Montour off the power play point, and they replaced him with Ekman-Larsson. That was like their move for tonight, and that didn't necessarily bear any fruit. So, teams will look to tweak things. It'll be interesting to see, though, if they have any wild card type moves or if they just kind of roll with how they were going and hope for the best. But Game 7 will be an absolute banger. I'm looking forward to it. And I'd just like to see the Oilers pull this off. It's historic. And I want my man Adam Henrique to win the Cup. I really do. Throw anything out there in the comments. Free agency, potential trades for the Devils, anything else. Throw it all out there. What you thought about the game tonight. Who do you think is going to win Game 7? Put your predictions in the comments, actually. Maybe I'll do like a little prize or something for whoever wins. Score and winner. So you predict what the score is and the winner of Game 7. Throw it in the comments. And I'll be back soon. But wow, what a game. What a game. What a game. The Stanley Cup Finals will go to a 7. I'll be back soon. Talk to you all soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.